Hey y'all, what's up? How you doing? Why do I talk like that when we do these toppers?
I don't know.
How are you guys?
I'm great.
Yeah, Pat?
I'm starting to warm up to the idea of giving this in the free feed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's turning numbers. We're converting.
Yeah, because you began last week's
I told him to fuck off.
with fuck you. So sorry for that. Apologies for that. But we are here with episode 3 of Juan Pablo's La Ventura. We hope you guys are enjoying this little breakdown. But before we get into the episode, wanted to let you guys know, big announcement. If you are a Housewives fan, which I'm sure there is some, Venn diagram of Housewives fans and Bachelor fans, we are covering the new season of The Real Housewives of New York. All the happenings-ons with Luann. Pat, do it.
Oh, hi, everybody. I love you, darling. You look wonderful.
Ramona, Sonia, Leah, and the new Ebony over at patreon.com/another podcast network. All 3,700 episodes of this season will be at patreon.com/another podcast network. So go over there if you want some Housewives coverage. Until then,
go over to patreon.com/another podcast network and give us $5. You goddamn cheapos.
if Housewives isn't your thing, then hang tight and enjoy episode 3 of Juan Pablo's La Ventura. Also, reviews, guys, if you're new to this, jump in there. 5 stars. Nice words. We love you.
But definitely give us $5 on Patreon.
And it's also known as the assassination of the character of the bigot Juan Pablo Galvez by the cowards Mickey Mouse and his bitch-ass henchmen Chris Harrison and Mike Flight.
That's what it's known as. The long title and the short one is Juan Pablo's La Ventura. Enjoy episode 3, everybody.
With the Cassandra JP date, are you going to talk about how the production cleverly got her in a bikini?
No, I wasn't planning on talking about that.
Well, they're on a boat.
Right.
They got to jump in the water, and of course, she needs to get in a bikini.
Oh, yeah.
Masterminds.
Yes, before that, though, I love these passerbys asking Juan Pablo about specific information on the vehicle. They're like, how fast does it go? And he's like, it goes very fast. It's a water car. We can see that. Have a great day. Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to my buddy, real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody? I feel like we're getting into a groove.
Over there behind the glass is producer Patrick.
Hey, everybody, how are you? I'm so happy to be here. Don't interrupt me when I'm talking to the audience.
He didn't even give a breath. Let him go.
thought you were done. I'm so sorry.
No. Apologize again.
Pat doesn't feel like we're in the groove as much as I think we're in the groove.
You guys
I can
are
tell.
really on my case tonight. You make me apologize twice for that? That's ridiculous. I won't do it. Now, you said we were getting into the flow. I kind of threw that off a little bit.
I love it. Still in it.
But
groove.
You know, how do we feel about behind the glass over there? Because there's no glass in the Pat Cave, but it's what we've said for years. I don't know how to handle it.
Well, for you, you could still say it. You are wearing glasses.
Perfect. I think we can move on now.
Okay.
Do we have any...
Behind my glass. Patrick Hickey.
Do we have any PSAs before we get to Gen Thoughts?
Yes, I'd like to speak to the
Well,
audience.
you shut the fuck up and wait, because we've got Nick's fire tweets first.
Yeah, fuck off, Pat. Nick's fired tweets. This is, of course, where I read tweets from my past because I didn't have the platform I do now, and I didn't get the validation I thought they deserved.
Still not a great platform.
This one comes up, and that's why I have ones from recently as today. A little tease for next episode. But this one is from actually 2014.
Great year.
Hashtag pro tip. Not a great year, actually. I moved on a whim to LA, lived in my car for... Okay. Hashtag pro tip. Begin any to-do list with the task, start a to-do list, followed by achieve small sense of accomplishment. Check and check.
Nick.
It's pretty good.
That's fire.
Thanks, man.
Pat, do you have any... do you want to conclude the segment? Do you want to? Are we flowing or not? Do you want to conclude the segment?
I was really just proud of myself. I felt like you had a really genuine compliment.
You have to focus. You can't be on a high and not focus.
And that concludes Nick's fire tweets.
Pat, fucking Icarus over here, man.
Thank you, Dylan. Yes, I've been anxiously waiting to address the baby birdies of news as of late. As you know, we are living in difficult times, challenging times. I know the baby birdies are probably wondering a myriad of things about what I'm thinking about all this.
Just wondering, myriad.
And here's my answer. Okay. After seeing all those videos on the Take a Shot on the Another Bachelor podcast group, that was a fun little thing.
So fun.
I've made several notes, and
the Another Podcast Network Baby Bird Shot Challenge.
Well, I'm happy to announce that, yes, in fact, I will sleep with some, or would sleep with some of the baby birdies. You can sleep now, sleep well, knowing the answer to that question.
All right. I don't think that there's any future wherein we're not unbelievably confused by this. So I'm going to just move on to general thoughts.
I blame it on the Facebook group algorithm because I'm assuming there's just some comments.
One comment
I missed across the way.
Yeah, that has to be it. Okay, so let's get to general thoughts. That's where we give our thoughts, generally speaking, about the episode of The Bachelor. That is episode 3 or week 3 of Juan Pablo's La Aventura. Pat, why don't you go first?
No, thanks, Dylan. Let Nick go.
Nick, why don't you go first?
Thanks. I think I kind of said it in a number of ways the first 2 episodes, but what I love about watching this season is seeing the early iterations of the things that have become common tropes now of the show, almost routine. I mean, we're seeing fear being nature's most powerful aphrodisiac employed. We're seeing pool parties in lieu of cocktail parties to really just knock the socks and throw everybody off kilter.
Sure.
And, of course, sob stories, which we are now seeing shoved in Juan Pablo's face.
Right.
Maybe not in the most effective way possible, but they are there. And so, like, as just a historian of Bachelor Nation,
Sure.
I'm really enjoying it.
Got it.
The drama is okay. 79 knots.
Now, as a historian of the show, do you think that this is the inception point for pool parties and sob stories, or could it have possibly come before Juan Pablo's season?
I think it was too kind of glossed over to be the first time this has ever happened. And I'm excited with you guys in future off seasons to start. Maybe we'll pick randomly. Maybe we'll start from fucking Bob Guinea. I don't know. But I would love to watch more of these seasons with you guys.
Okay.
Can I say I feel like a huge dickhead the way I framed that question? And you're not?
79 knots, he said.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks for reminding me,
I mean,
Pat.
come on. Be present, Dylan.
Pat, your knots and your thoughts.
We're falling out of the group.
Okay, this episode 3, a lot of, look, all the episodes can't be big winners with a lot of drama. This episode had really none of those things. It was more character development in my mind, right? Every story has a certain act in it that you got to develop the characters, kind of like Empire Strikes Back.
Sure.
Right? So this was pretty boring. 30 knots.
Yeah, I have... Excuse me. Yeah, I also have written down that this episode reminded me a lot of Empire Strikes Back and the way that it was developing characters. I'd give it 65 knots. Kidding. I thought this was better. I'm going to give it 75 knots. Corona. You can hear what's going on in my throat. Now, I was concerned last evening that I had probably finally succumbed to the 3rd bout of coronavirus, but it wasn't that. I was tasting the broth of the brisket last night. There was a cooked down onion, a sneaky little splinter cell in that broth, and I went, and it shot down my esophagus, and it burned me in the throat, inside my throat. It feels like I have a sore throat, but it just is one stinging spot inside of my neck. It's horrible.
It was Nick and I's God torturing you.
And he is a vengeful God.
Yes, he is. So anyways, let's get into The Bachelor.
Okay.
So Nikki kicks things off like an insane person. Says on a scale of 1 to 10, she is level 15, ready to go outside. Looks like those children are rubbing off. Not the downs. I'm not saying the downs. I'm just kids say silly, stupid things sometimes.
Oh.
The darndest things.
Yes, they do. Oh, what a show. I miss him so much.
They brought it back with Aisha Taylor.
Yeah, I know that.
Tyler.
Shitface comes in to break down the week in a lovely 2-tone shirt. This week there will be 2 one-on-ones and a group date. Then he says, I'll see you fucking bitches later. I'm late for a tea time. Cassandra gets the first one-on-one. They head to the LBC where little Camila Valentina, who is terrified of chickens, as I was when I was a young boy,
sits with su abuelos. Is sitting with her grandparents. They're waiting to be told to leave. I thought that we were gonna have a fun little meeting here between Cassandra and the family, and I was ready to see her not do well at that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we could just kind of hit the water and start having a good time.
I'm also glad. Couple things here.
Yeah.
I also thought we were going to see a meeting. I was like, way too soon. Way too soon.
Well, she knows Trey, though. I mean, she's good with Trey.
Yeah, let us remind the audience. This is there's 2 single mommies on the show. And Cassandra's one of them.
Rodney Stuckey's.
Yeah, the one with the NBA player.
Right.
And she is only 22 at the time of this
I
filming.
know.
She had that child when she was 19.
Can I give a little insight into the show?
And right? I mean, an abortion is in order.
No, not when it was with an NBA player.
An abortion is in order.
Money grab.
Yeah.
Can we move on, please?
How do you not know? I'm not saying money grab. I'm saying if the child's going to be set up for life.
That's a good point. That's a good point. The kid's going to be set up for life.
Yeah, and
Rodney Stuckey's got that kind of money.
Any NBA player does. Yeah, he got paid way too much in some free agent spree for sure.
All right.
He attacked the basket. Old school 3-point plays are hard to come by. It's new analytics. And I will say, last thing on it, I kind of forgot it. That's why I keep talking like this and pointing, because when you point, people seem not to talk.
Oh, I thought
I
I
lost it. No, I lost
say
it.
something.
I lost it.
Room tone.
Fun little note about Cassandra, because again, it's I've been following these people on the IGs and their history and stuff. It was said later after guess what? She doesn't win. That she joked with her friends that she thought JP was gross. Right. She actually was only here to make Rodney Stuckey jealous, which actually ultimately worked, because after she left the show, they got back together and actually got engaged.
Wow. Are you kidding? Are they married?
No, I was going to save that info, what happens with that later on.
Oh, well, we saw her on Paradise, so there's no way that could have worked out.
It was actually after Paradise.
She's been on 2 iterations of Paradise, because one she actually quote unquote won, but then somehow was still single and then got shut down by Jordan. Kiwi Jordan, looks like Landon Donovan.
So Cassandra arrives, and the family is put in the rear view, so to speak. They head out to a car that he's rented, which she says kind of reminds her of a Jeep. We will see what kind of a transformer this vehicle is, but yes, she's correct. It looks like a Jeep because it is one. Now, they get in said Jeep, and their conversation is, needless to say, electric. What?
Oh, electric. I said lacking.
Oh, you're so wrong.
Very similar.
In her OTF, she delivers that she thought they were going off-roading. Look around, you bitch. Where would you be going off-roading, okay? I kid. It turns out to be something.
She wasn't wrong?
No. She's 100% right, and it turns out to be a lot more terrifying than off-roading. Juan Pablo pulls the Panther into the water, and for a while there, it looked like they were going to need to vacate or be claimed by the waterway. But
there's a counterintuitive thing when you're on what is essentially a jet ski, a Jeep jet ski.
Right.
You need to accelerate to turn. It goes against all natural instincts.
Right.
That's why your cousin hit the pier when he tried to splash us.
Okay. So yeah, after 7 minutes of nerves, the engine finally drops into the water and they take off. Now, I just don't know what happened to the dates on The Bachelor, because this is so much fun. So much fun.
I agree. Oh, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but in this season, I mean, we go to like 5 different countries.
Sure. Not Cleveland, Vietnam.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, this is pretty crazy. Where'd the budget go, the Mr. Mouse here?
Yeah.
You cheap bastard.
We talked about this. He wants a factory. He's not a watchmaker, but... Continue.
I was gonna say, you said you didn't know what happened to these dates, and you hit the nail on the head.
Well, yes, it was rhetorical.
Mickey went through this budget like a bushwhacker walking through the jungle, scouring for new land. I mean, he was taking.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't need that.
Heart of Darkness. Heart of Darkness.
The
baby.
Women Fly commercial. Nay.
Okay.
Coach.
Hey, Dylan. One thing I picked up on this, if we can, this date.
Sure.
Juan Pablo, I didn't know he had a race car driving background or knew how to drive boat. He's driving like a fucking maniac. I mean, there are small children on flotation devices nearby.
Yep. Yeah, it was really dangerous driving. It was really dangerous driving, especially on a completely different terrain than you're used to, that being water. It looked like she was going to fly out of the fucking thing like 2 or 3 times.
I also have a note. She's pretending to be into this. I don't think she cares about this at all.
I think she's fearful,
Yes.
which is a very strong aphrodisiac.
But but an A for effort on her part to fake it. Mm-hmm.
I think she's desperate and looking for any man who could possibly provide a second life for her child.
Okay.
But I will say I think she enjoyed this. How could you not?
How could you not?
If she genuinely did not know they were about to drive into the water and not drown, I mean, that's fucking fun.
Can I tell you, Nick, and I know this is going to get me in trouble. You know I don't like to get in trouble with people, okay? But she seems to me as to be a little superficial. She's already banging an NBA star at the age of 19, shitting out a kid. Something tells me she ain't into like outdoor activities like this. More like going to buy like purse shopping.
Love that take.
Or like things that hot chicks do that think they're better than everybody.
Love that take.
Thanks.
So, I mean, I'm not saying she's not superficial and she likes to do like boring things like shop, but I don't think this woman has like.
She's very dumb.
But she doesn't have like gold digger vibes to me. She wants just the perfect life. I think she's a sweetheart.
Well,
I do.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, I'm gonna have to fix what you just said. I happen to know.
Get ready, Nick.
I happen to know
a lot of lag time between his nuggets of information. But.
Yeah, not a lot of lag time. I actually had the unfortunate circumstance where I worked with Cassandra. So I know Cassandra. The person you're seeing on this show is...
You're really burying the lead here, Pat.
Oh, sure.
He's just a cemetery of leads.
I worked for a tech company in 2015 where she was actually one of the, I guess, the talent on there. Talking to Cassandra, the personality you're seeing on this show versus the Cassandra that you see when you actually deal with her, 2 completely different people. She's way more savvy, way more cutting, way more negative, way more bitchy. This is not her. This is her putting on a show. No.
Moving on. Let's get to a meanwhile. Sweet story, but also a tad concerning. Now, Elise is talking to Renee about her mother's passing. She says she was diagnosed with melanoma, the bullet that finally took Marley down. Elise says that her mother penned her a letter on her way out. Now, inside the letter was a plea to go on to The Bachelor. Now, I don't know if it was the treatment or coming to terms with your own mortality. Why any mother would wish this evil onto her daughter with her last words is beyond me.
I can tell. Well, I can't tell you why she did it, Dylan.
Yeah.
Because she didn't do it. I'm telling you, tinfoil hat time, but I've never been more comfortable in this hat. This woman took her mother's nearly lifeless hand, forged this letter to create this story that she knew would get on their Bachelor. She said, me and my mother were like this. Yeah, when you had your tentacles wrapped around her to bleed her of everything she has. I bet they barely spoke. This reminds me a lot of, there was this guy, Phil something in my hometown, French Island, Wisconsin. His mother died.
Some snow shoveling dumbass.
Yeah, he was like somewhat of an autist or something, but his mother dies. Instead of like reporting it, doing a funeral, sticks her in his ice chest freezer that he's got in his garage, collects Social Security for 3.5 years.
Wow.
French Island, Wisconsin, big story, made national news. The guy actually a couple people, entrepreneurs in Wisconsin, they made some bumper stickers that went kind of viral really early on that said, "My mom's cooler than yours," and it had a hand going out of a ice chest, and they those bumper stickers were pretty popular around my area.
I will say, pretty savvy of Ted Phil.
So Nick, I get it. So your theory is her mom was actually probably in a hospital bed, and there was a nurse in there,
and not talking to her because she was a horrible daughter.
Right, and Elise walks in and tells the nurse, "Please leave us be for a moment," and then she grabbed her hand and put it to paper. This letter.
Yeah, and then after put that hand to letter, took a pillow, put it over mom's face.
It's so funny. Not any of that, but they paint this picture like, they're going through the house and they find these time-textured letters, this beautiful prose written to cement the memory of the family or something. But That's not what it was. It was a letter to a P.O. box in Arizona to get her daughter on reality television.
And calling back to our my general thoughts, like seeing early tropes or whatever. What was the name? Alea Noea.
Yeah.
She forged a letter. She, of course, was savvy enough to not kill a family member.
Right.
But you see these
savvy
things.
enough is the term.
You see these things.
I was so savvy, I didn't even have to kill my mom.
Exactly. She's super sav.
So we've got to get back to the panther, the water, and the fun that Cassandra and Juan Pabs are having. A little bit of insensitive editing, cutting from this back to the fun time in the panther. Pat, why don't you hit us with a little clip?
That sun shining on me is her. My mom literally puts me in a castle with the perfect guy, and yeah, that's why I'm here.
Oh my gosh, can I give you a hug?
Yes.
I was like, what are you doing?
Because they knew it was bullshit.
Hey, I have a thought. With the Cassandra JP date, are you going to talk about how the production cleverly got her in a bikini?
No, I wasn't planning on talking about that.
Well, they're on a boat.
Right.
They got to jump in the water, and of course, she needs to get in a bikini.
Oh, yeah.
Masterminds.
I love it. Yes, before that, though, I love these passerbys asking Juan Pablo about specific information on the vehicle. They're like, how fast does it go? And he's like, it goes very fast. It's a water car. We can see that. Have a great day.
I wonder if that thing has a Genoa.
Anything else about her physique or anything like that, or can we get to the night date?
Night date!
Okay, let's do it. Juan Pablo brings Cassandra to his rental. Now, again, the dates are just better in 2013. This is how you do a budget date. Mm-hmm. It's low-key, but this is a date. Not the dancing at all, but the cooking, the dinner at the house. I mean, this is the kind of shit that relationships can actually build in this hellscape known as The Bachelor.
Now, Dylan, you glossed over the whole dancing part, but I would want to point something out.
Okay.
All right. So what took place here is they're cooking, and we'll get to that. But at some point, they just impromptu dance. Okay?
We could move on from the cooking, actually.
Well, okay.
Just that I've never seen cooking as a date ever again. Why can't we do that? That's always a cute date.
It's perfect. Sorry, Pat.
Well, this put into question the integrity of the show. You guys are probably a little too young to remember this, but a lot of films in the 80s and 90s, characters would just break out and dance in the middle of a kitchen. I don't know, outside, just in the park.
Well, I don't remember that at all.
And somehow everyone knew the choreography. You don't know that at all, Dylan? Perhaps.
Oh, Deer Hunter.
No, not that one.
Huh.
Beetlejuice. It happens. Somehow everybody sitting at the table know how to, they know this all dance together. Slumdog Millionaire. I get that. That's that whole Indian dance thing there. Breakfast Club. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Remember in Chicago?
Hang on. Me and Nick are having the same thought at the same time because you mentioned 2 decades and then you said Slumdog Millionaire.
Right. Encino Man. House
Was
Guest.
that a remake? The one we saw?
Practical Magic, a little gem that people have forgotten. It's a trope of the 80s and 90s that they should bring back, but definitely not in reality TV, and that's what Juan Pablo
and also the 2000s, evidently.
Can I say something really quickly?
Sure.
I do not fucking like Tim Burton. I've never seen Beetlejuice. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've seen everything else. Sleepy Hollow is fine. Night Before Christmas is fine. Whatever. I don't like it. It's too fucking, ooh, we're in put people in clothes. Film a movie.
Well, he did one time. It was called Big Fish. It's a lovely movie.
I think, Big Fish.
It's a heartwarming story between a father and son's relationship.
That is a heartwarming story. Yeah,
I actually liked his take, though. I mean, the original will always hold up better, but Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it was fun. It was a nice little trippy experience.
Oh, God. The new one with Johnny Depp? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. That's such a terrible movie. So he says that he can feel that Cassandra is getting a little nervous. And, Nick, as you've mentioned before, the reason why they dance is because that's his trademark move to to kind of grab him close and slap that cudge on him, and that's exactly what he does. Now, the group date card, let's get to it.
Group date card.
Pat, I'm going to need a roll call from you.
All right, well, hold on. I don't have anything to assign, ladies, but I'm going to tell everybody who's going on the group date.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, here's going on the group date. Roll call. Kelly, Renee, Charlene, Danielle, Allie. He calls her Allison sometimes. Oh, I had that reversed. Her name's Allison. They call her Allie. Lauren, Andy, Christy, Lucy, Nikki.
Now, diabolical and quite mean of the producers, actually. One of either Chelsea and or Elise will be the only girl that week to not spend any time with the Bachelor at all. Whew. Diabolical. Hunger Game type stuff. How was that breath, Pat?
It's pretty good.
Okay. Let's get back to the night date.
Back to night date.
Now, I've already hit my quote of unlikability, but like I said, I find Cassandra to be unbelievably stupid. They share baby pictures.
Well, I had a picture. I had my note that they share photos of their abandoned children.
Yes, they do. After Juan Pablo says it's not a malted milk ball, it's Venezuelan, and you're going to eat it. Take it easy. But yes, they do share baby pictures, and as her first child is with former Pistons, what position did he play?
Oh, point guard.
Point guard, Rodney Stuckey. Juan Pablo notices two things. The first he cannot say. The second is regarding the size of the child. Wow, he's big.
He said that.
Yeah, he is big. He's very, very big.
Which just gives you a real perception of the size of NBA players, that a point guard is considered large by this another professional player in his own right, athlete.
Hey, Dylan, was this the same time that JP reminded her that he takes his choices seriously when courting the mother of a neglected child?
I don't think that's what he said.
Oh, maybe I'm paraphrasing.
Paraphrasing or adding words to be offensive. Whichever one. So Juan Pablo is getting a clearer picture of Cassandra. She's an overprotective mother because she feels that 2 years old is a little early for pre-K. He's like, oh, wow. You're protective, huh? No, she's just doesn't want to abandon her child the way you want to. Drawing balls and abandoning your child. What kind of father are you?
I haven't had children. I have no formal training rearing children.
Right.
But I think if you're doing it 1 to 2 hours a day, I think pre-K for a 2-year-old is great. They are developing social interactions much earlier than you may think.
I think it's a little too early.
Oh, maybe, just be around your mother.
Oh, maybe in Venezuela they just let infants out in the street like fucking dogs. That's not how we do it in America, Nick, okay? You hang on to your kid for a while. Pre-K is for 7 and up.
Hey, guys, that annoyed you. I'll tell you what annoyed me is Cassandra, I think she's said 5 times so far on this season that she hasn't had a date in 3 years.
First date.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay. And then no man has ever cooked for her. She's 22. She's got a kid. The father of that child, I guess, was around for, a certain period of time. I guess they only get takeout or go out to fancy restaurants. Mm-hmm.
What's going on with you right now?
What do you mean?
What's something I can, because I also don't cook for my lady, and I would like something easy because she cooks for me. She just takes such good care of me.
You want to cook something?
Just fun. You know?
All right. Well, listen. Allison Roman of the New York Times has a shallot pasta dish with anchovy and a lot of shallots. It is a fantastic dish that is very simple. I'll send you the recipe. Give it a shot.
Well, and we'll post that recipe on Patreon.
No, we don't know, so we won't post it. But maybe I'll do a video of me cooking it.
Or me cooking it.
I don't think that we would want to lead people astray with you preparing anything.
And I did forget that you had already spoke with me about doing some type of cooking thing.
Sure.
With your lovely Cecilia.
Yeah.
I would not want to step on that.
Oh, you just tried to.
I forgot.
And now I have to take a break. I have to get up and I have to walk out of this room for a little bit and cool off.
Can you grab me a cloth?
Okay, so group date. Let's get to it.
Group date next day.
They head out to the StubHub Arena, which boasts a rousing 17,000 seats.
Do you know that they have since renovated it? It's about 30,000, which is why the San Diego Chargers were able to play there. And it was actually a really fun time going there, even though I saw horrible game between the San Diego Chargers and Buffalo Bills. But to see an NFL stadium with only 30,000 people is not an opportunity you're going to get a lot. It's very intimate. It feels like a college atmosphere on an NFL stage. It was very fun.
Oh, that is fun. Anyway, so the girls arrive and Fat Ass is a little out of breath playing with the LA Galaxy boys. JP, it's a 3-on-3. Lay off the ultralights. Maybe I'm projecting.
Hey, Dylan, did you catch the JP? I think he was talking to the camera or something. He said, this is referring to his career as a professional soccer player or something.
Yeah.
He said that he gave up soccer for his daughter.
Yep.
Well, I'm pretty certain that he didn't give up on soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer gave up on him.
Very few people are offered the kind of big money contracts we've already talked about, a la Rodney Stuckey, and say, you know what, I'm good. Usually the sport says, you know what, we're good. That's usually how it works out.
So he's a liar now.
Sure. Or a massager of a truth that is painful to his ears.
Well, he's been saying this rap to, at the clubs to unknowing women, and it works with them. Oh, you had a daughter, so you left your job as a professional athlete? How sweet. I think I want to blow you. And now it's so in his brain that he just says it to the camera. I know a lot of people like this.
Yep.
My father was one of them.
Pathological liar.
Well, at some point, we're at dinner a couple years before he died with a group of his colleagues, and he was bragging about how he paid for my entire college. And then I knew the actual truth, which is he hadn't dropped a fucking dime. So I'm sitting next to him. But before I took that piece of chicken, I said, Dad, you didn't pay for anything. Are you nuts?
And that concludes, here's a little bit of Patrick's pain.
Nice. So smooth. So
Put some music on that segment.
Can I play devil's advocate for like 1 second?
Okay.
Not about Patrick's pain. That's very real, and you deal with that however you're going to. But maybe daughter is Venezuelan for lack of speed and skill.
Okay, so
look that up. I want to see if that's true.
Do you guys want to practice? Do you guys want to cover practice at all?
It was totally boring.
Do you want to cover the game at all?
Not really.
Lots of shots in the face.
Charlene gets the shit beat out of her.
In the face.
Now, listen, a ball to the face can really hurt. When I was about 16 at Santa Barbara summer camp during a co-ed scrimmage, a younger girl, maybe 12 or 13, it was kind of a free-for-all. It was across 3 fields. She kicked a ball in my face and almost broke my fucking jaw. Now, did I cry?
Yes.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one sees it crying, did it cry?
Absolutely not, Kelly.
In my mind's eye, I can see you crying. But I will say, even though it does hurt, there's nothing that makes you look tougher if you can just fucking walk that off. Everybody knows the sting. That right in the nose, right in the face, that fucking hurts. You tear up. But if you're like, I'm good, let's play.
Okay, so do you guys want to get to the night date?
Night date.
Nikki sits down and asks Juan Pobs what his biggest fear is, and fuck, he's throwing me off again. He says hurting people.
Now hold on, JP. Hold on. You got to be consistent. You've been asked that a couple times, and you always say you want to be a good father.
I think she asked him specifically what's the scariest thing about the process.
Oh.
That's
hurting
bad.
my daughter by being dating 30 whores that I'm not going to pick.
Whoa!
Hey, edit that out. I don't want people to get a wrong impression of me by throwing the word whore around.
And he'd sound like an idiot. There were only 27 whores this season.
Okay, so let's get to Andy's first kiss, or do we need to talk about it at all? I mean, they hop behind a little concession stand.
Just they're like, oh yeah, in your mind, oh, I'm in a concession stand. There's candy. There's everywhere. Have you ever been in an empty stadium?
Nick, I was gonna say. He goes, "You want to cook something? You idiot!" The kind of health code on the food and those fucking concession stands.
And not to mention, they don't even have any employees or food there if it's not fucking game day.
How pissed was the location manager of that facility that made the mistake of renting it out to this horrible franchise and then viewing months later people fucking wiping their pussy on the...
Hey, I just don't think that happened.
I hope people from the, what do you call the health department? Like... Is it just the health department?
ABC.
The people that shut down like restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, the HD.
The health department. Yeah, I hope the people in the health department aren't fans of Bachelor Nation.
All
That's
right.
what I was trying to get out.
So let's go to a quick meanwhile.
Meanwhile,
Despite the wet dream that she had the night before, Elise will not be the one selected for the one-on-one. Chelsea from Columbus will be granted the opportunity to have a panic attack at Great Heights.
Some people think dreams are sometimes premonitions of the future. Nope.
Okay. Back to the group date.
group date.
He and Charlene settle into the middle of the field, and after she correctly identifies his compliments as compliments, they kiss.
Oh, is that what they do, Dylan?
Yes.
No.
Well,
No.
I wrote down that I've never seen somebody with Asperger's attempt a French kiss. But it's horrifying.
They make love with their tongues.
Yes.
She does a little thing called fuck kissing, okay?
Well, okay.
I liked her kisses.
There's pecking. There's, making out.
Yeah.
And then that takes it to a next level, which generally ends up in the sack and start fucking. What she's doing right there is she's playing games with his head with that tongue. She puts on this facade that, I'm, a higher thinker than the other ladies. I'm a little bit more complicated than the other ladies. And then she's thrown out there, but in bed,
Oh, okay.
I like to fuck.
Now, can I, wow.
Oh.
Can I,
That's what Charlene was saying.
devil's
not Pat.
Right.
advocate?
Yeah.
Devil's advocate?
I also have a devil's advocate.
Okay,
I think it's different than yours.
Well, I think it is too, because mine is pretty wacky. Kind of like my beliefs about what really took down both of those towers.
At least you admit it.
She may just be a bad kisser.
You think this is a bad kisser?
Oh,
Yeah.
no. She
Oh,
was
my God,
teasing.
yeah.
She was bringing him in.
No, really bad kisser. There are very, very there are very few instances when you need to let your tongue explore like this. This is not one of those moments where reckless abandon can just scream out of your mouth into somebody else's mouth.
If I were like base comedy, this is when I make fun of you for probably only having missionary sex.
Right.
But as
right.
we've talked about, missionary gets a bad rap.
Right.
Can be just as hot as any other position. But the fact is, I think you're not understanding. But I mean, this was Pat and I. We're into it.
Yeah.
But I will say this has nothing to do with her newfound affection for Juan Pablo. Rather, I think this woman, and this is a theory I have developed. I think this woman got a stern talking to from Mickey after that. Sure, when she accepted the group date rose. I think they were like, hey, listen, if you're going to stick around, you're going to play the fucking game. You're going to
dare you, bitch?
I will fucking slit your goddamn throat if you don't act enthusiastic. You'll never sing again. Oh, you don't think we have arms in Germany? We own Germany. We started Germany. Do you know Walt? And then...
Do you know Walt? Mickey dropped Walt's name.
Oh, yeah. He was the original Nazi.
Yeah, he was the original Nazi. Probably would have loved wrapping himself around that flag.
Of course, Dylan was pointing to our beloved Stars and Stripes that Sandra Day O'Connor knitted for us.
You know what that flag represents to me?
Betsy
Ross.
DeVos.
You know what that flag looks like to me? A beautiful white canvas with 50 opportunities to do something great, and then capitalism bleeds all the way down it. It just poisons the entire thing with streaks of blood, the blood of the citizens that flag is supposed to protect.
You know what, Dylan? Go to NASCAR next year and put with a bullhorn and yell that out loud. See how that goes for you.
It's so funny because we are so close to
Why would I
agreeing.
do that?
We are so close to agreeing because I see 50 stars of opportunity, and then I see the same blood you do, but it doesn't come from capitalism. It comes from the federal government pissing away our money on welfare programs that you fight for.
Oh, I thought you were going to say slaves.
All right, I also have another thought with the whole Charlene thing. I don't know if we've analyzed where she came from or tried to figure out who exactly this little minx thinks she is.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm thinking. We can all agree she's attractive, right?
Yeah, she's beautiful.
She's very accomplished, although I believe in the last podcast you questioned the validity of her career.
Sure.
She should have, she should be on contract right now. What is she doing on this show if she is, in fact, a successful opera singer?
Do you have the shovel in your hand again?
What do you mean?
Dagan.
Oh, am I digging a hole?
No.
No.
Did you do some digging?
Oh, no. I think Charlene's a late bloomer. I think she was probably not an attractive gal until she hit like 19 or 20 and
Love that
started
take.
blossoming in college. And this is where you get all the brain stuff. She's a little too heady for my liking.
Love it. You're 100% right, I think.
It's super interesting. Like, this is what makes our show great. The three differences in our theory. So Pat thinks Charlene is a late bloomer,
Right.
an intellectual that just hasn't had that much involvement with a man like Juan Pablo.
Right.
I think she is also a elevated woman that is bored by Juan Pablo,
Right.
but was told by production, you must engage with this man or else we will ruin you.
Right.
And you think she has Asperger's.
I want to switch to Pat. I agree with Pat now. I want to switch over to Pat's side.
Yeah, she she doesn't want to be with a gross club promoter. Where would these two people even meet if it wasn't a reality show
Well,
that put
we're
them
going
together?
to get to some fantastic time spent between the two of them just on their own, which is going to be wonderful. We'll talk about that next episode. But let's get to... Oh, excuse me. Nikki gets the rose.
Yeah, and Andy's bummed. Dorfman's bummed.
Shut up, Andy. So one-on-one. Now, Chelsea, Juan Pablo comes and grabs her, and Elise spouts out some delusional confidence, but she's a dead man walking. Anyways, they hop in a car, and he has a very strange move to make the girls comfortable. We've seen it time and time again. That is playing music that the girls cannot understand at all.
Yeah, it's Venezuelan music. Dylan, I have some thoughts on this. Okay, so I live in Los Angeles. I'm sure this takes place in every small town. Why even point out Los Angeles? These mother effers, where you're in the solace of your own vehicle. You're listening to NPR or maybe a podcast or
Love
two.
NPR.
Then you got some motherfucker up. He's got his windows rolled
Yeah.
down, blaring. It's always trash music too. But in this case with Juan Pablo, what I hated about this, and this is why it's trash music, is because it comes from Venezuela. And I've noticed this because I've traveled quite a bit. Nick, I'm not sure how much you've been out of the country. I know
Never.
Dylan always brags about
One
going
time
to
I
Italy.
peed on Canada.
Is that right? All right.
Been to Barcelona and Nice.
All right, fair enough,
Monaco,
Dylan.
I've been to places.
But this is what I'm going to say because I know this for a fact. So I watch a lot of TV while I'm in these other countries. I can tell you this. The music is horrible. Every music outside of America sounds like it's from 38 fucking years ago.
38, huh?
I don't know. Guys, please. I don't understand why producers in different countries can't produce music that sounds like it's current with America. Why you go back
Well,
there?
we have Bad Bunny now.
What's your problem with 1880 or 1982, Pat? Damn it.
That's true.
Can we just get to the bungee jumping, guys?
Sure.
Holy moly macaroni. This is really high. Would you guys ever do this?
No. My wife and I discussed this as we were watching this show.
I'm more likely a skydive. I think I've said this on the show actually before.
Than bungee jump?
Than bungee jump. There seems like there's more error that can go like with the bungee jumping.
Right,
and the snapping, obviously. Like I feel like that's ripe for concussions.
Well, you're also leaving out a variable here, which is this isn't a bungee jumping facility. This is a makeshift operation from God knows where, right on a bridge that was built before my ancestors ever showed up to this goddamn country.
And listen, she's very upset about this. We could break the entire thing down. I mean, it does not go well. She's unbelievably nervous. And unfortunately, he has no Latin pop music to play, so there's nothing he can do to comfort her.
All right. Let me put the audience up to speed of what's taking place here. So she obviously doesn't want to fucking jump. I don't remember her saying that she had a fear of heights prior to this date. That being said, that's a moot point. It doesn't matter. This is terrifying. 99.9999% of people would not go there, even if cameras are rolling and you got some idiot behind you. And I'm not talking about Juan Pablo. One of the workers of this bungee jumping company wanted to literally step and push her off the goddamn thing, right? All right, so she's freaking out.
He wanted to go get a pint of vodka and get the fuck out of there.
That's what I'm saying. That's not your job to do there, sir. We paid you. We paid you well. That is not your job to interfere with
You'll
this.
be back at your trailer in Sun Valley in no time.
That's probably exactly where they hired that company from. All right. So anyway, so she's freaking out, and this is what I like that Juan Pablo did. He gently whispered in her ear that this isn't going to ruin the day if she doesn't want to do it. It's not going to affect anything, and don't worry about it. I thought that was great. That showed that at that point to me that he was not going to be a victim of so many of these bachelors of the Svengali mouse.
Right.
I personally expected him to be like, if you don't jump, you're off the show.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. But alas, they do jump, and good for them. It's important to overcome fears, especially when you don't have Latin pop to calm you down. Let's get to the night date.
Night date.
Chelsea is she's very sweet. She's just very like, good up, Chelsea. Like, there's just.
Which one's Chelsea?
The one that's like, good up, Chelsea.
Yeah, she is like that.
She gets the rose. And, I mean, is there any conversation you guys want to chat about? Or?
Well, she asked him what his biggest fear is. And he says not being a good role model for his daughter.
Okay, so he's got one A and one B in terms of greatest fears.
But again, I have to harp on this. As Nick brought it up, we've talked about it quite a bit. They do actually have a real conversation. I'm not going to say it's interesting. I'm going to say I'm kind of boring, and this is when I go pour myself another glass of wine in the kitchen.
Sure.
But it's better than already knowing that what's going to happen at that dinner table is they're going to be both staring at the rose on the table, and then the little lady's going to talk about how Uncle Jeff or Chester
you sound like Ron Funches sometimes.
I've never heard
black
Ron
guy?
Bunches say anything like that.
That's when I pour myself another glass in the kitchen.
I love doing vision bow.
Okay, so I don't know who the fuck this musician is. But I was moving a bit. I mean, this is some fun white music.
You don't know who Billy Currington is?
No.
It's actually disgusting. They didn't play his best song, People Are Crazy. Oh, man. Should I play it right now?
No, absolutely not.
God is good.
Not. Absolutely
Beer is great.
not.
And people are crazy.
After a beautiful dance, she probably gets the rose before the dance.
She gets the rose before. And I want to say this. I'm shocked by that because, look, Juan Pablo, you got to start thinning the herd here.
Right.
You know you're not going to go home with this, girl. This isn't going to make hometowns.
So let's get to breakfast.
Next morning.
JP is making arepas. It seems like an El Salvadorian pupusa, but again, these little regional differences are so fascinating. Anyways, Kelly,
it's all the same goddamn continent, Dylan. Of course, there'd be cross-pollination.
Sure,
of these dishes.
but it's just a little touches. It makes it so interesting. So Kelly walks downstairs,
droopy eye dog,
and because of the sage advice from her grandma, never let a man see you without your face on, she, alone with the Bachelor for the first time, ignores him and goes outside to watch her dog shit.
It was odd, Dylan, but I actually think she had some other business to do out there.
You think
she shit in the yard?
You think
close? She had to fart.
Oh,
okay. She's trapped.
Do you have thoughts on this?
He's throwing a wrench into my opinion of it. I mean, if that's the case, kind of makes sense. But hey, don't.
What was your take? She had to shit outside again. Was it? Yeah. She had to shit outside?
He thought she may have had to shit outside. I don't know. But I agree. That was my thought the whole time. I was so embarrassed.
Right.
That you were playing the game this way.
Right.
Fuck him right there. You win the competition. There's a happy medium between what I said and what she did.
Flag.
But don't just run outside and hide your face.
Listen,
I'm actually just a facade. Everything you've seen at is fake.
Right.
My wife reminded me of this because my wife knows how to play the game. Obviously, she got me, and I'm a fucking prize. She said, my wife said this. She saw what Kelly did. She was the first to be alerted at his presence.
Right.
She goes, she went up and started telling the girls that Juan Pablo was downstairs.
I know.
No.
Right.
What you do is you go up there and pretend like you didn't see anything.
Right.
And you let them walk down all sleepy-eyed with crusties in your eye and all gross looking without your makeup on. Right. And you let that bad impression set in as he sees it because that's what he's going to be staring at if he picks you.
Sure. Well, I just hate this philosophy of
Oh, it's my wife's.
No. But no, I mean the grandma's philosophy, never see a man. What kind of fucking... makeup is just so it takes too long. I don't like it's all this people that put on a shit ton of makeup. Just live your life. Yep. Life's too short.
Dylan. Not everyone has a wonderful relationship with their wife or their partner like you do. For a man that is kind of on the fence with his wife, the hour and a half that she spends in that bathroom doing her hair or whatever the fuck she's doing, there's an hour and a half, you have your own goddamn thoughts, right, Nick?
Not only that, but them wasting valuable work hours on such a frivolous thing keeps the patriarchy in place and me automatically ahead of 50% of the population.
Maybe I doth protest too much, but listen, I get that you don't want to feel less than in the morning, but have some swag. Like, you go over there and stir up some fucking Reina Pepita. Renee does just this. She dominates, and once again, how great is this guy? I mean, he just says, I want to cook for the girls and take the pressure off of the, the blush and the heels of the rose ceremony. It's just, I don't know when I'm going to hate him.
Soon, Dylan.
Okay.
Soon. These are the things that I haven't seen real men do because they haven't been casting real men as bachelors. Actually sense this guy. He's doing everything right. It's just the second half of the season that he ruins.
I'm so excited.
It's like Patrick. It's like Juan Pablo read all of Patrick's books.
Yeah, maybe he did. What year was this?
2013.
Oh,
did you have the manuscript completed?
I began it.
Okay.
So you think someone leaked it to Juan Pablo?
So anyways,
who knows?
Kelly really shoots herself in the foot here. Needless to say, we've got a little bit of a surprise here. Another usual suspects type twist. Guys, we're not going to have a cocktail ceremony. We're going to have a pool party.
Nice!
So I thought that this was kind of Snooze Fest 2013, but a couple highlights. I don't like Kelly. I don't like Kelly at all. Once her face is on, she can't go into the pool because of the face being on. She then begins calling various women around the house whores.
If I saw this at Snooze Fest 2020, I would boo them off the stage because this is anything but a Snooze Fest. There were plenty of exciting moments.
Great.
I'd be like, I'm awake right now.
Yeah, I thought it was Snooze Fest 2013.
She called her a whore.
Charlie,
you don't see that type of black and white talking shit anymore.
Wow.
Charlene sits down with Juan Pablo, cries, and kisses, and this kind of sets off that nutbag Claire. Now, Claire, you've known him for a week and a half. Remember, calm down.
So Claire sees them making out, right? And then she decides that she's going to protest and go up in her room or something like that. And then, of course, Renee, who I'm starting to get very annoyed with because she's the shoulder to cry on for everybody.
Right.
I mean, come on, Renee, pick and choose here. And I don't say that it's because you're caring and that you've got this mommy complex or something like that.
Fuck you, Renee.
Yeah. So Claire's really upset, but then JP pulls her aside, okay? And he's like, hey, what's up? And she says she's sad because she had to listen to everybody's dates. And then she claims it's not jealousy. And she just wishes she was on those dates. And that's when I thought, because I don't know vocabulary that well, but I was thinking, I'm pretty sure that's exactly the definition of jealousy.
I'm not jealous. I just want what other people have because I think I deserve it.
All right, let's get to the rose ceremony. Pat?
Oh, you want to go to a rose ceremony?
Please.
All right, is this where I do my roll call thing?
Yes.
All right, guys, look, I've listened to the last episode. You're not adding in that music that you keep promising me.
I'm sorry.
The time you did was pretty smashing.
Yeah.
Though I love the bit about not playing.
All right, enough of it. I can make my own music. This is Roll Call Rhyme Edition. Here we go. Here's who stays. Andy, ate all the candy at the concession stand. Renee, no need to stay. Charlene, get mean. Elise, bet she gives a mean hand release. Kat, JP wore her pussy like a hat. Hallie, more of a pally. Claire thinks the process is unfair. Lauren, cute but boring. Kelly with that fucking dog. That fucking... Don't bring a fucking dog on a reality show, you dumb bitch. Danielle, let's hear the blow dryer.
What about Kelly with the dog that's smelling?
It's pretty good.
Just off the top of my head, I loved it. New thing.
Oh, are you done?
Well, that's all the girls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my favorite rhyme was Kelly, the one with the fucking don't bring your dog to a reality show bitch.
I like rhymes.
86 knots.
You didn't like that?
No, I
86
did.
knots.
86
He does
knots
not
is
understand
fantastic.
the
Yeah, you were
scale.
really confused about the scale. All right, so that means Lucy and Christy are on their way to
Lucy Goosey.
the guillotine. That's the end of the show. We'll be back very, very soon next week with some more hot Juan Pablo Ventura content. Remember, jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Leave 5 stars. If you have kind words, please write them down. But if you don't, just hit 5 stars and walk away. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/anotherpodcastnetwork and find us on Facebook. Type, search Another Bachelor Podcast. There's tons of baby birdies in that community. It's flourishing. It's a beautiful, beautiful nest. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.